Ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, everything in between. How fucking good's this? Our final roundup for Team Resolute relative to Soldier On. I only say final roundup for this round because next March I'm going to be pushing to double our team and double our donations. So I'm going to come out loud, proud, and early and say it. We're going to have more team members, but we're going to hit $5,000 next year. March next year. There's my little commitment to Soldier On next year. So you guys better still be running your charity next year because the old Freedom Chef's going to be fucking swinging hard at it for you. How are you, Jess? Good to see you again, brother.
Yeah, no, good to see you too, mate. Been taking a bit of a bit of time off social media. Just fucking. I got to give a bit more time back to my family and whatnot, and I might as well be public about this because this is what we're actually doing this charity and everything for. But yeah, a little bit of fucking old demons are coming out the play, so I've got to get the fuckers on the ropes again, and and just been working on my video series. How about yourself?
Mate, look, the young bloke's gone off to spend some time with his mum, and I saw your video the other day, so thank you, everyone. And Chantel, who you mentioned in the video that you weren't sure, but that's actually the little bloke's mum. So she, I was actually really impressed that she came on board and thankful too, people change and people go through what they go through, but I'm really proud for putting her hand up, and she's done the kilometres, so A grade, and she's got the little bloke over Easter, and it was originally going to be 4 or 5 days, and then I think she modified some stuff so she could have him for a bit longer, which is really cool. So, I'm happy he gets to spend a bit of time with his mum. I think it's important that, kids get a good balance between both, if both are of value, you know what I mean? Like, there are some mums who are fucking hopeless and have no business being anywhere near their children, and there are some blokes who are fucking
My sister is one. My sister is one.
And, I don't muck around, mate. There are some blokes who have no business being near their kids either, and it's just about trying to get that fucking balance, and she and I have had to fucking fight hard to get where we are, and, I'm glad it is where it sort of is, where we're in a positive space, and I think it's going to benefit the young bloke tenfold, so... I'm really happy with that side of it, and that shit's tough, mate. We're in 2021. The government works hard to make sure that fucking families don't stay families, and works hard to fucking mess up the whole fucking male-female dynamic, and it's a great big shit show. And I'm not supposed to say that because I'm in the political field, but we all know I don't actually care.
It's funny you mention that because that's exactly the series that I've currently done. Like I've done 2 episodes. I've got the 3rd one nearly done now. That's exactly what it's red flags for men to look out for, young men to look out for in females. And it's funny that you say that because we've been fucked since the 60s, man. Like this has been going on before you or I were born.
Sandry pisses me off, but so does fucking misogyny. Like, and I always describe myself as a sexist feminist. That's one of my fucking things. If you want to be a strong, independent woman, fucking go for it. But then don't look to the government to hand you a big fucking fat check, and don't look for some poor bastard that you've stitched up to hand you a big fat check. You go be a big, strong, independent woman. And for you blokes out there, you got to go do the same shit. Get off your asses, handle your business. But it's it's almost frowned upon to look at it like that. And if you're a woman who wants to be a stay home and look after the kids, then it's up to the men to protect and provide. And it depends on the dynamic of the relationship.
It's the same thing. Yeah.
What's the dynamic? You can't just say all women are this and all men are this because there's fuckwits on both sides. Like in any race, any gender, any fucking political sphere, there's fucking dead shits on both sides. So, I look at it as I tend to do fucking in my own little space, and people go, well, that sort of makes sense, but what about this? And so, some people are just fucking dickheads, and it doesn't matter whether they're men, women, white, black, Asian, a monkey's uncle. Some people are just dickheads, Jess. And, and the best way to do it, and I've always said it, is if we could find a way to get that government interference out of the family unit, out of the interhuman relationships, is a far better chance of everybody having a good time and better outcomes for everybody. There's going to be winners and losers as always, but, overall, I think you'll get better outcomes by just 2 sensible adults who go, this is the scenario, this is where we're at, and leave these fucking bureaucrats and politicians the hell away from people's relationships. Because
it's funny you mention that because for my part and from where I've gone through it for this series, like I know we're not really talking about this, but it does tie into the military, believe it or not, so I will get there. it's funny because like a lot of people will say, yeah, it's the welfare state, and yeah, it is government interference, and that definitely has merit. Others would say that it is a abandonment of Christian principle, and that might have merit as well. But in reality, it's just the same thing that's happened again and again and again. Greek city-states, Rome, Babylon, Sumer. It's very, very simple. It is hard times create strong men create good times create weak men. You get the feminization, and then they have their nuts cut off, and then weak men / females create hard times. That's essentially how it works. When the feminine gets out of control and the masculine's not doing its job, that's essentially how it happens. And I saw this in the military, man, like, especially in infantry, the divorce rate's like 80-90%. It's fucking ridiculous. And a lot of that is because guys choose very badly. They're marrying strippers and shit like that. But
a lot of that too comes, they're not getting support from anywhere else. So, like, I mean, fuck, it's, you put yourselves on the line. Oh, I suspect. Tell me I'm fucking wrong. But you blokes put yourselves on your line, your lives, your balls, your fucking, everything you've got going for you. You put it on the line, and you're not getting love from your government. This is where a lot of people, in my opinion, get very confused. They think the government loves them. They don't.
yeah.
And so when they're not getting this love, and some stripper says, and they're good sorts or whatever, and they go, oh, fuck, I love you. And you go, I'll marry you. You're fucking amazing. And then they're confused, because you're not taught to think like this, like, and you're not supposed to think like this. And I've known a few strippers, and they're not bad humans, because I've known one or two that are fucking terrible humans. But that had nothing to do with them being strippers. I think they were just fucking terrible humans. And you can see how people get themselves caught up, like the traditional family unit has an awful lot of merit.
We lost our conventions, mate. That's the problem. These old, archaic, draconian, horrific conventions that had everyone miserable. Look at the fucking happiness rates, mate. Happiness rates pre-1960 for both male, female, children, functionality of society, everything.
Mate, and
up here, since the 60s, women's lib and free love and fucking hedonism and nihilism and shit, fucking everything is just going to shit.
Well, and let's be fair with
they were meant for a reason, these conventions.
Free love and all that sort of fucking shenanigans still generally resulted in couples went, fuck, that was a wild couple of years. We need to settle down, have families and settle in. It's more of this modern bullshit that's certainly got me vexed. And I guess I want to tackle it in a different way. I look at the hardcore conservatives who want to force people to do certain things certain ways. And then you got this hardcore fucking liberals? Yeah, leftists. I don't like the word liberals being pissy, because it is called liberalism, but in today's context, it's so fucking confused, like.
Yeah, it's not Lockean. I get that.
But I'm not a liberal, and I look at it and I go, fuck, really? And I just like to see if more people were left with their own devices, without the propaganda, without the fucking bullshit, without the guns to their head, the interference, most people would just naturally gravitate to having a wife or a family or whatever. And, I actually think I see the interference as the problem. Some people sort of say we need more interference to make this happen. My argument would be, I think if more people were just left the fuck alone, as opposed to, and you see the liberal kids, you see what goes on in our schools. You saw that shit with the gender stuff that happened the other day.
Why do you think I homeschool?
Young boys, it's on my list of, and I've explained to Chantel as well. I said, if this thing gets fucking way out of control, I'm just bringing the boy home and I'll just teach him what he needs to know. And if the government like it, I'll tell them to go fuck themselves. But
do it, man. Do it seriously, because
mate, financially to do so, don't worry about it. There will be probably my shed up there might be converted into a classroom, and all the neighbourhood kids can come here and
that's the thing. I noticed. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be a dick. That's the thing. When this pandemic, this COVID shit, right? Which actually a lot of my mates, both still serving and ex-serving, fucking hate. By the way, we didn't serve for this shit. I did another live stream on Facebook about that a couple of weeks ago. But I noticed beforehand, all of my mates were saying, especially female mates, I can't homeschool. I don't know enough. Rah rah rah. And then the pandemic hits. They're forced to homeschool when the fucking school shut down, and over half of them, they haven't sent their kids back to school.
Mate,
because they've seen the results, they've seen how much better it is. You've only got to do it for like an hour or two a day. It's not 6 hours with fucking lunch and recess and all the other bullshit.
reading, writing, arithmetic are they're the functions of our schools. Anything else beyond that's a bit of bullshit and whatever.
Logic.
What? Logic? Never heard of it, brother. Never heard of it. But yeah, look, 100%. This is where we're going. You and I should probably do an actual fucking chat on it at some stage. But
sure.
what I did want to do is I bought a bottle of bubbly. I know you've got a drink there. Now it's Crozer, it's Adelaide Hills. I looked at some of the fucking bullshit French ones, and I do have a couple of French mates. One of my mentors was a Frenchman in my cooking career. Actually, quite a few were separate mentors, but a direct mentor was a Frenchman. He was brilliant. Jean Ponchel, love you. But I got to take the piss out of the French because you can't call this champagne anymore because, you know, fucking some poor bastard's getting upset.
Yes,
we spent the last month raising money for a fucking good cause, my brother. So I just wanted to fucking reach out. I think we've earned it. I don't drink much champagne in my old age. I'm more of a beer or a couple of wines, man, or whatever. But I just thought relative to the nature of our association and this, I would have a little champagne. Or, sorry, a sparkling wine because we're in Australia. But, mate, we hit our goal.
We did. Thank you very much.
$500, my brother. So cheers. I did say this would be a celebration. I think I mentioned that last week in our little chat. Mate, we had a couple of late. Look, I've got this. It's not a superpower or a trick, but it's a thing that I use when I'm sort of a bit pissy, and I'm sort of going. And I don't mean pissy as in drinking pissy. I mean as in or pissy like spit pissy. But when I'm a bit
pissy, how are you, mate?
Well, yeah, brother. You know, I'm getting to the close, and I'm going. We've just climbed a fucking mountain. You know, the biggest one in Australia, and I'm looking at the donations, and there's an awful lot of likes and a lot of shares, and people go, "Oh, great work." And I'm looking at the number, and I'm going, we're not going to hit this 2,500, and I was starting to get a bit annoyed. So I drafted up a text message, and I sent it to every fucker in my phone. Every single one of them got it. And it basically said, listen, we just climbed a bloody Australia's tallest mountain. Here's a photo of me and my kid on the top of the mountain. He's 8 and climbed the mountain. Chuck in some dollars for him. Anyway, we got across the line. So I've got to give a couple of shout-outs. Diane Horseshoes, my auntie and her family have tipped in. What they tip in? About $100, $80. Guy Buckley from the Liberal Democrats. Paul Barker from the Liberal Democrats. Mark Ellis is former Liberal Democrats, but he's also actually now a One Nation member. You know, he's sort of gravitated a little bit, but Mark's fantastic bloke for any ideological differences we may or may not have. And Holly Mercer's chipped in. Emma Eros. I don't know if you're familiar with Emma.
I know who she is, and she's a mate of a mutual mate of ours, and respect.
Emma's one of the fucking most down-to-earth, real Sheilas I've come across in the last 5 years. You know, I've been really impressed with her. We're good mates. We talk regularly just because we can. She's a businesswoman. She's everything the feminists dream of being without being a fucking idiot. You know, she runs.
Yeah, and look, respect to Emma. Like, in all honesty, absolute respect. Like, from what I've heard from Dear about her, and what I've heard from a couple of other people who know her well about her, she seems lovely, and absolute. If Emma ends up watching this, Emma, hats off, mate. Respect.
Well, you can put me down as another supporter and friend and family of Emma Eros, mate. Anything she needs, she's got. All she's got to do is call. She was actually the first. She's Lebanese, which my business partner's Lebanese. He's fucking brilliant too. She's Lebanese, a woman, and she was the first Muslim candidate for One Nation, I think was what her credential went down, just for anyone who has a squiz at this. And she's not what people think, you know. She doesn't tick any of the usual boxes, which is probably why she and I get along. She's a fucking gun. Also, Peter Smythe in the Southern Highlands is tipping in $100 from he's a real estate agent in the Southern Highlands. Bloody good bloke. And he's come good with 100. And that sort of was our last little run of donations to get us across the line, mate. I saw you did a video the other night and did a big shout out to a heap of people, which I thought was a great video. So thank you for that. That was wonderful.
No, thanks them, mate. All I wanted to say with this one, mate, with the finale that we're doing, and again, fucking having a drink to celebrate. But yeah, with Cam and with Chantal and Adrian, hey.
I think we've earned it, mate. And, you know, look, I'd love to, I messaged Chantal. I spoke to her on the phone this afternoon as well and sort of invited her on, and she's a bit camera shy. And and I know Adrian, who I haven't met or even spoken to.
Well, I am too. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this, man.
There's a face like Tom Cruise, yeah. Fuck. but
I look like Gollum fucked an albino.
Well, if I didn't have the facial hair, I could pull the same similar look, mate. Look, it is what it is, and I get it. These people want to do good work, and they don't want to have their heads in front of the camera. And people have said to me, "Oh, you fucking want to be famous or something." And mate, you've spoken to me enough times. I don't think you get that vibe. I don't think most people have actually spent any real time with me get that vibe at all. They work out that I'm.
If that's what you wanted to do, man, Resolute would have 1 million subscribers by now, 500,000 subscribers. Like, if that's what you're after.
Mate, I don't even look at how many subscribers. Here's what I look at, and me and Gia made a video a couple of times. There was a couple of blokes who were trying to take some sort of a piss about, oh, well, you've only got this many subscribers. I don't fucking even look. I don't care. Here's what I try. I try to have discussions or produce things with people of value.
Yeah.
Put it out there for the world to see, and what they do with that is up to them.
You and I are on the same page with that, mate, because I don't bother debating or any of that kind of shit either. I don't give a shit about getting famous. I'm only doing what I'm doing with my new channel because I want to help my target audience. I want to help military. I want to help ex-military. I want to help young men. I want to help people homeschool.
Cool. What have you named your new channel?
Sorry, mate?
Pardon me. Have you named your new channel? Is it up and live yet?
Yeah, I got the name, mate, but I don't want to plug it because I'm not here for that.
Yeah, but listen, I've got 5 subscribers or something, and if my 5 subscribers subscribe to you and all that fucking bullshit doesn't put any dollars in your pocket or anything. But as I explained the other day, if I can introduce people to Jesse Bell, and they like what they see, they can support you, or they can, oh, fuck, I didn't know that was happening. Or if I can support a Nicholas Wildstar or Andrea Takashi, who let's be fair, we released a video last night. It was Easter fucking Sunday. I had very low expectations, and we were proven right. 2 amazing guests with some great stories, but there's not people fucking watching on Sunday night, Easter Sunday.
Well, I haven't seen it, but I promise you I definitely will once I'm done with my current video.
But the point being, if I can bring a Larry Sharp, a Dan Berman, a David Lionhelm, a Tim Quilty, a whoever, and all of a sudden, all these people who don't know who they are, people from your world and my world, because you and I aren't from the political class. We're not from the intellectual class.
If anyone called me an intellectual, I would want to.
Oh, you see, I don't. Every now and then people have, I'm in the libertarian movement. Fuck. There's so many people there who think they're fucking intellectuals and they're overthinking everything. And I'm going, just simplify it down, mate. Just fucking.
Well, they're parroting shit. All they do is just parrot. They're like a mouthpiece for something they've read, not an original thought in their head. But anyway, yeah.
You've probably learned something from interacting with me about libertarianism that you didn't realise, and that was that we made.
You're the weirdest libertarian I've ever met, and I've met many, and I'm friends with many. Some have fallen by the wayside, but yeah, like you're the weirdest fucking libertarian I've ever met in my life. You are not dogmatic. You're not just fucking Rothbard, Rand. Like same with like a lot of conservatives are dickheads. A lot of the far right, like these dickheads aren't even far right. They're just too fucking stupid to know it. They're a bunch of nutsock larpers. But yeah, it's just like all they do is parrot shit. They watch a Shapiro clip or whatever and parrot, and it's just like, have you got an original thought in your head?
Right? Fucking 100%. And and I said, I have debates in my own crowd, and look, I had somebody argue with me today, and it was fucking relative. They were talking about the voting system in the US of A, right? And it was on the Guardian article. And every now and then, I've got to admit, sometimes if I've got a spare hour, I'll sit there and I'll just fucking throw barbs at both sides of politics because I don't really care that much. And they were talking about the voting in the US and how, Trump's claiming that it was rigged and that it was dodgy and it was fucked. And these people go, well, what would Trump know? He's a fuck, rah, rah, rah. And I've said numerous times on this program that I like Trump because he's funny relative to the other politicians. I don't see him doing any necessarily better or any worse. Some policies he's had, I've liked, some I haven't liked. That's fucking life. But I certainly think he's 100 times better than Joe Biden's ever going to be. You know, Joe Biden is fucking well past. He can't walk up a flight of stairs. The guy's broken. And that's
He's going to be Epstein very, very soon, I think.
We all know that it's President Kamala Harris, and they couldn't get Hillary over the line when she was supposed to be a sure thing. So now they're just going to bully the first female president in, whether she has any capability or whether she's voted in or not. They're just going to put her in there, and they're going to, she's black and a woman, therefore she's president. And if they were going to do it with anybody, I would rather them do it with Tulsi Gabbard, but I imagine Tulsi told them to get fucked because she seems a woman of very high principle. But what I did find really interesting in this particular little comment was I just put in a comment and I said, I don't know if any of you guys that are really offended by all this realise, but a dead person was actually elected in the last American election. Now, the guy who was elected was a Republican. I didn't point that out. That wasn't the point. The point of what I'm saying is you're trying to say there's no flaws in this system. I'm saying a dead guy got elected. Now, I to be fair, I think most of our politicians should be dead when they're elected. I think that's when they're going to be the most efficient, most honest. They're not going to rob anybody. You know, I think that's when they're at their finest. But I also sort of turn around and I was trying to point that out. And this bloke goes, well, anybody who voted for that guy's brain dead. And rah, rah. I said, mate, are you saying that anybody who disagrees with you is brain dead? Because that's a very disappointing way for you to approach any sort of a discussion, to just assume that everybody's stupider than you. I guarantee you can load a gun quicker than I can load a gun. I guarantee you know more about military-based operations than I know. I guarantee there are areas in life I can outcook you in my sleep. You know, I mean, there are different ways to be exceptional.
I've been told that. I like cooking myself, but you definitely sound like, you shit all over me any fucking day of the week.
Look, without being too rude, I could walk in any kitchen in the world and go all right. That's not an issue. My biggest issue is I'm kind of retired. I'm kind of over it. But, mate, I look at the world we live in, and it's almost sad. It's almost embarrassing because you and I are genuine people.
Yeah. The
people who donated and contributed to this project that we've just done. We just raised $2,500 for charity. Now, there are some people on this site, they've raised hundreds of thousands. I think they've raised nearly $1 million something dollars. I nearly said $1 billion. $1 million something dollars just for people. Now, that's amazing. And we've provided a little bit. We've provided a role. We've partaken in that. Now, I'd like to double it next year. But, mate, it's a huge achievement. And people underestimate other people's achievements all the time.
Yeah.
They're always underestimating. And this is where I think we're very flawed in society. I had somebody say to me one day, well, how's Resolute TV going? Is it the biggest channel on YouTube yet? I said, well, how's you doing nothing going? Has that materialised anything for you? You're doing very well with nothing. Very easy to achieve nothing and not get any criticism. I can live with criticism. A bloke like yourself puts himself out there and gets criticism. Mate, you've walked 96 kilometres. Young JD, did he hit 96 or he was bloody close?
3K he had to sit out. But, I'm proud as fuck of him. I'm proud as fuck of our team members. I'm very
after in the next 2 days anyway. Let's be fair to him. He would have done that.
But no, he was a bit crook. Bit heat hit him a bit. But he did 93, man. 93. And proud of Ryder. I'm proud of him. I'm proud.
Office 96 because I guarantee he did that walking round and not actually in marches, but just generally he's hit 96. And he's
definitely, definitely. But man, I'm proud of our boys. I'm proud of our team members. Very proud of you. Thank you for putting me onto this. Like I'm proud to have you as a team leader. I'm proud to have you as a team leader again next year. You've definitely got the fucking talent for that. I'm proud all around. Like I'm very, very humbled and very, very honored to have participated. And I'm just blown away by people's generosity, especially with this fucking COVID shit and whatnot. So yeah, by the way, I'll flick you that one I did a couple of weeks ago on that too. You might like it.
Oh, the COVID one. Yeah, I'll have a look, mate. How's your drink? You still going, Jess? Because I think we've earned a drink.
Mate.
Well, that's all right. I don't want you dehydrating, brother. Don't want you dehydrating.
Can't do
that. Mate, I tell you what. So we've done this now. every January, February, December, January, I work on the Ride for Joe charity. Right? I don't know if you've seen it and worked on it, whatever. I'm hoping.
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen your work. No.
I'm actually starting to think that there might be a way to do this a bit digitally, because with the Ride for Joe, everyone shows up at Wollongong and we ride to Gerringong. That's just been what we've done the last couple of years. We raised money for the Wollongong Cancer Ward. So Romeo, my camera shy business partner, he's every now and then I'll get him to do a little thing. He'll jump on, but his father died of leukemia 2 years ago. Which, look, that happens, and I'd always, one of my things, I suppose, it was a bit of a fucking, for me, a bit of a personal thing. When my father died, I was in such not an emotional state, but I was in such a poor state as a human. All I used to do was drink, fight, and fuck. It was ridiculous. It was
My condolences, mate.
No, well, look, Dad was in a wheelchair. I'd look after Dad, and then I'd be a lunatic. And then I'd look after Dad, be a lunatic. And then I'd go and coach soccer kids, be a lunatic. It was quite. Yeah, mate. And most of us who are being real have. And, but when he sort of died, in my head, I wanted to do some charity work. I wanted to raise some money for the spinal cord mob and, all that sort of thing. But I wasn't really in a mental position to do something or drive something like that, if that makes sense. So
it does. I'm fucked in the head, mate. I know exactly what you're saying. That's why I never trained in martial arts. I didn't have the capacity up here to fucking not kill cunts. So, sorry.
There's a time and a place, and don't worry about your language, mate. It's Resolute TV. We are a free speech platform. The only thing that I would ever say on Resolute TV is unacceptable is calling for violence on somebody. If you're actually going, right, I don't like you, fucking, we should, that I'll never really accept. And, I mean,
I don't call for violence. I just enact it if I'm forced to, and usually 99.9% of the time it's in self-defense anyway. So,
and you know what, mate? It's the enforced too that I appreciate. But when Dad was in that state, that was where I was. But when Romeo's dad died, I was in a much better mindset. I was physically better. I was mentally better, and it seemed a little bit easier to do for somebody else than it did for me at that time. We just weren't in that headspace. So. I said to Romeo when his dad died, I said, we sat down, he and I had a few beers, and I said, mate, how would you feel about doing that? And he goes, we're just talking as we do, and he was like, mate, I'd love to do something like that. And I thought about it. I thought, had I had somebody there with me at that time in the mindset of doing something like that, we'd probably have a Charlie McRae charity or whatever going on. And I don't actually mind, because it doesn't matter. Good work's good work. It doesn't matter where the money goes, whether it's the cancer ward of the Wollongong Hospital, whether it's Soldier on. As long as it goes to the people it's supposed to go to, I don't actually care. Whether it's Girl Scout cookies, I'll fucking buy a box. Do you know what I mean? So
I know what you mean. And this is the thing. This is why I love what we're doing, because I normally help diggers directly. Like I found a few on the street when I was working security. Put them up. I'm not beating my own drum here, but I'll put them up in a hotel for the night, get them in touch with TPI Association or whatever the case may be, but normally I help people directly. But this I think is probably a bit more effective. But it all counts, like you're saying, as long as it goes to where it's supposed to fucking go and it does the job it's supposed to do. Who gives a fuck?
100%, mate. 100%. And to know that it goes to veterans, I think we need to. I'm an anti-war guy, shit. But I look at it and I just look at what we do to our boys. And to be fair, the boys that are going to war on our behalf, or some bullshit excuse of a peacekeeping mission, or I think that's what they called Rwanda when they sent people to Rwanda.
That's what you get when you have a UN running a fucking show.
Listen,
what your brother went through, man. Like, hats off to him. By the way, if he sees this, hats off to him. My absolute respect. And thank you for
I don't know if he watches it. I'm not sure where he stands on. Look, he sent me a shout out and a thank you, but we're not close like that. Which is just the nature of the whole beast. But mate, he went to Rwanda and got back, and I've seen photos of that shit. His ex-wife now, because he's one of the 98% or whatever it fucking is, sat down and showed me one night, what had gone on over there. And to be fair, I was pretty horrified. And I'm pretty, I don't want to say hardcore, but I can see stuff, digest and analyze. I'm pretty good like that, I'm pretty, good in the area of that. And I saw these things and I went, "You're fucking kidding! This is terrible," and then to find out afterwards that they declared it a peacekeeping mission, not wartime scenario. Therefore, the support from government was apparently less.
Yeah, it is, and this is where you find out what humans can do to other humans, both overseas and at home. This is where you actually really find out what humans are capable of doing to other humans. Yeah.
I was embarrassed. In saying that, now I don't know if you saw the news today, and it's only relevant because it's a military-based thing. Jim Molan has just announced that he's full of cancer and will be taking a step back from his parliamentary duties.
I'm sorry to hear that. I'm not a fan of the guy, but I'm very sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Well, I was a fan. I saw some semblance of hope with his capabilities in the LNP. I thought he might bring some value. I think he kind of, what's the word you guys all use? Fucking cucked out. He went soft. That's what I'd call it, just going fucking soft. You guys call it cucked out. I don't know why.
We call it he took it up the arse or he pole smoked.
Well, yeah. that makes more sense to me than the cucked out word seems a bit strange to me. But anyways, I looked at it and I was really hoping when he got in there that there would be some not radical changes, because I mean Australia needs radical change, but I only ever have modest hopes.
Little bit by little bit.
I like to see, yeah. It's like when people say to me with your libertarian views, well, do you want a whole libertarian society? No, I just drag everyone back from totalitarianism. If I say all taxation is theft and we can drop it down to 3% tax or a flat tax of 20%, something. Let's just bring it back,
Just compromise. I mean, you're 100% right. And Pissy Leaks, that's 100% correct. That's why I moved away from cuckservatism.
Dia just called you and I both bitches. You need to get.
Yeah, I did. She's a magnificent bitch, but that means you're also a bitch, dude. But yeah. But yeah, Pissy, you're 100% correct. I was a libertarian-leaning conservative a couple of years ago. I've been forced to change my views, and I've found myself moving harder and harder to the right. That's when Dean and I are actually quite far apart politically, but we've got a lot that we agree on, which I really, 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 really do like. And you're a thinking man. You're not an intellectual man. You're actually a thinking man, which I fucking really like too. It's fucking incredible.
I look at a lot of these people that are called alt-right or whatever, right? And I met some of them. This is how Pissy and I digitally met, I suppose. And I met a lot through Dia because, Dia had this alt-right tag and whatever. And I agree with some of them on some stuff.
No.
Sometimes I think you've been a dickhead, or sometimes I think you're expecting other people to conform to your views. But I also then look at the left wing and I go, you're correct. I actually don't have a problem with LGBT people fucking marrying LGBT. I don't really give a fuck, to be perfectly honest. And I'll tell you why. If you want to marry a gay person, marry one. I'm not going to marry one. Doesn't really interest me. Thank you very much, Jess. I like you. I don't like you that much, brother. I have a deal with you. I think you'd make a shit wife.
You got a little bit too much facial hair for my liking. You don't really have the lines on the face I like.
But I just look at stuff like that, and I look at things like the gay cake baking for weddings. I don't think any government should have any fucking say in whether or not you bake. If you're a baker, you should bake a cake for a gay couple or not. You should say, I'd like to reject your business, or I'd like to take your business. Now, you could take that as far or as little as you like. You could go as far as to say that you're a black person. I'd like to reject your business, which I don't encourage the racism, but I do say it's your right to make that choice. If you want to miss out on that $300 to bake that cake, that's your fucking option. I might think you're a dickhead for thinking that, but I also believe it's your right to, if you go, I don't want to make a cake for a black wedding for an argument's sake.
That's one area where you and I agree on, and that's where I probably still am quite libertarian with the business side of things. A business owner and entrepreneur has the right to refuse service to anyone that they wish to refuse service to, just as the customers deserve the right to boycott anyone that they
has
choose
to be a both way thing. I could turn around and say, well, that baker won't bake a cake for my black gay friend. I'm not going to buy my heterosexual cake from that guy. I'm going to go to his competitor up the road.
Having said that, on the LGBT thing, and I don't want to get into an argument, so I'm not going to counter you here. Right. I will say this, that historically, one of the reasons I'm very anti-gay marriage and I'm anti-gay lobby, I've got gay mates. I have no problem with them as people.
I get that.
But where I'm very much against the gay lobby and all this agenda and all that kind of shit, and it's not just government. There's a lot of private NGOs and all that kind of shit that are backing it up. With the state school shit, the pedophile shit. This historically, every single time that you end up with mainstreamed homosexuality as opposed to behind closed doors, every time you have mainstream heterosexual degeneracy except for behind closed doors, every time you have mainstream feminization outside of closed doors, this is where, this is the degeneration that you get historically. It's the same pattern again and again and again. That's where I'm coming from with it. It's not out of hatred. It's not out of bigotry. It's nothing like that. It is just, we've been through this shit show time and time and time and time and time and time again.
Of course.
And it's got to stop.
Look, there's a little part of me, and people get upset because I always make these sort of sarcastic sort of comments, is I'm almost against all marriage. Or what there was a thing the other day that went around. I don't know, we're supposed to be celebrating walking a lot, but anyway.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
It's a good opportunity for you and I to chat anyway. But
yeah.
There was an article the other day, and it went around, and they were talking about the fact that they're expecting governments to demand that if you want a divorce, you've got to wait 2 years before you're allowed to have that divorce. And obviously my side of the political spectrum, they're not even a side, they're a fucking ragtag of lunatics, right? But the argument kicked in with, is it government's role? Is it this? Is it that? No, listen, if I am in love with somebody and I choose to marry them, I actually don't need anybody's permission, really. I can just go, listen, you're my wife, you're here now, I keep you, this is how it's going to be. And she can go, I'm happy with that. That's fucking great because two consenting adults have made a decision. I sit there and I have to think to myself, and I could be I do think a little bit outside the box, but where does the government fucking stick its nose in there? I didn't ask your permission to get married. Fuck off. I don't require a law from the government to tell me who I love, who I don't love, how I fucking entertain.
Oh, it's good you bring that up. No, it's good you bring that up. And yeah, dear, I get it. No, I'm not preaching. No, look, I get it. This is the thing, and this is what I've gone through with the series I'm working on currently, is that government used to have practically fucking nothing until the 60s to do with marriage.
As they should have fuck all to do with it.
It was socially enforced. And it was an actual contract, just like any other contract. So, just the same as a mechanic. I don't have to explain to you, but just for the audience that might not know.
Yeah.
Right,
you
got a problem with your car, you go to the mechanic, you agree on a price, you agree on a time that they fix it, and when you can come pick it up. They do the job, you pick up your car, you pay them, you fuck off. Now, if they've done a dodgy job or haven't done the job at all, you go back, they have to either repair it for free or refund you. Or if you refuse to pay, they keep your car, impound it, and if you don't pay for a long enough period, then they sell your car to get reimbursed. And marriage used to work like that, and it still does in Japan, where my wife's from. In Japan, marriage is still a contract, unlike what happened here at 75 with no-fault divorce, and that was a government initiative. The feminists pushed it.
Don't call it an initiative, because it was anything but an initiative. It was
the feminists pushed it, but government actually implemented. But before that, it wasn't even a government thing necessarily. It wasn't family courts and shit. Oh, they were by the 70s, but earlier on, it wasn't. If you wanted to divorce, you had to prove why. You had to prove a breach of contract to whether it was a church or whatever body you got married under, whatever the case may be. It's like, okay, is the guy being abusive, or is the girl cheating on you, or is the guy an addict, or is the guy refusing to work, or is the girl refusing to perform her role? That's how it used to be. And whoever was at fault walked away with nothing. And it's the same in Japan. Whoever is at fault, mostly at fault for the dissolution of the marriage. So let's say what happens in our culture a lot of the time, where you just get, oh, mummy deserves to be happy. Mummy's fucking bored and dissatisfied. She's been a fucking slut for 10 years before marrying you. And she's not riding one cock anymore. And then she decides, this is only one example. Obviously, there are arsehole pricks out there. But yeah, and then she decides, oh, just to kick you to the curb for no fucking reason. You do that in Japan, not only do you walk away with nothing, you got to pay the other guy. You got to pay that ex-husband of yours. You got to pay him $20,000. Or if you're a husband, you've been beating on your wife, it's proven, or whatever the case may be, you failed your half of the contract. You walk away with nothing, no house, no kids, no bank account, and you got to fucking pay your ex-wife $20,000.
Yeah,
it's via negativa, and I like. But that does help. And then you got the other side of it as well, which is what I was talking about earlier with the infrastructure. You had so many steps you had to go through before getting married. It wasn't like we have the last 60 years where it's two guys meet at a club, two people meet at a club, jump in the fucking sack, start banging each other. Yeah, sex plus excitement. Oh, yeah, that's fucking love. Jump in the sack, end up putting a ring on it or going de facto. Inside of 5 years, normally, that's the case. Inside of 5 years, it goes to shit. You split up, broken homes create broken societies. It's a repeating cycle. You had all this infrastructure in place beforehand to make sure that the couple was compatible, including a minimum courting period, socially enforced though, not government enforced, socially enforced. Sorry, I know I'm ranting here, but anyway, that's how it used to work, and it still kind of does in Japan. Unfortunately, they're kind of going our way now, and I'm going to be doing a video on that pretty shortly. But yeah,
mate, I agree. Like as usual, we agree on 90% of everything. All right, back to my 20% rule. You know, I'm going to fucking make a T-shirt, the 20% fucking rule, because I can just about agree with anybody on about 80% of everything, right? And I think society is actually the same way. It's that 20% that has people fucking arced up and ready for war over all sorts of fucking bullshit, right? But I mean, it's a serious 20%. I don't, pardon me, make light of it, but it is a serious 20%. And you look at these things and you go, if we could solve that 20%, work out how to forgive and forget on that 20%, how to modify on that 20%, how to understand better on that 20%, we'd probably have a better society, to be fair. 20% of why a veteran's a little bit mad sometimes. Well, because fucking they've been through X, Y, and Z. You know, and I don't give anybody a pass. Anybody who knows me will know fucking nobody gets a free ride, including me. I'm my harshest critic all the time. Always have myself.
Join the fucking club, mate.
Oh, mate. Well, what about? Okay, listen, fucking.
I beat the fuck out of myself all the time.
Mate, people, oh, you fat bastard. Well, yes, that's true. I eat too much, drink too much beer. Guess what I've just done? Climb Mount Kosciuszko, and I've lost a couple of kilos, and I'm doing all right. You know, and you know, but you look at these things, Jess, mate, and we're trying to make the world a better place, right? We can't do it by going to war with everybody all the time. We've got to try and find common ground and then go, how do we mend that 20%? How do we find a gap? How do we get people who hate war to support veterans?
You're one.
Oh yeah, I don't think it's a logical fucking segue relative to where we're talking.
You're one. That's good.
I do not think Australia needs to be going to war ever at all. I don't think China needs to be going to war at all ever. I don't think the US needs to go to war at all fucking ever. What I do know is, for some reason, they fucking do, and when they do, we need blokes like you. Now, if we're going to have blokes like you to defend us because fucking China can't keep its dick in its pants, or US can't keep its dick in its pants, or whatever the fuck's going on, how do we look after them with dignity and respect when they get back? And that's a very challenging question, because there's an argument where you signed up for it, and I'm harsh for that. If you go into cooking, you get burned, you have shit hours, you work public holiday. There are certain consequences to taking on a
I know what you're saying, yeah.
There are consequences. Nobody put a gun in our country. You volunteer. You sign up voluntarily. So some people would argue, well, you fucking signed up for it, cunt. What's your problem?
I've heard that so many times.
And my argument there is they signed up for it because they were serving their country. Now, in that scenario, the father figure, the business, the overlord, the fucking whoever the grand poobah is that you've signed up to serve, it's their jurisdiction and responsibility to look after their underlings. Underlings, I hate that word, but
yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
You've submitted your life, your family, the whole thing. You've submitted everything to the Australian government to serve our military. I expect the fuckers to show up and protect you and look after you.
We'd say subordinates in the army, like, and this is the thing, you've got to be, as a superior, when you're in a command position, you have to have loyalty to your subordinates if you're going to expect it the other way. And what you're saying is correct. And what happens is people like Jim Molan, and again, I'm very sorry to hear what happened to him, but with what's happening. But yeah, these brass, they just fucking abandon the people they're supposed to be serving the moment they get into politics, because they're politicians in uniform.
What do you thought, Peter Cosgrove?
Do you really want to know?
Yeah, fuck it, mate. I'm an open book. I don't care.
Look, I respect his service. He's a Vietnam veteran. He's done quite a few deployments, and he did quite a few good things.
Yep.
With what he did to our military, and this is before I joined,
yep,
he fucked it completely. That's where the softening, the feminizing of it, all the fucking touchy-feely fucking bullshit that just completely destroyed it, to the point where we've got LGBT, Aboriginal, ethnic minority, fucking all that kind of shit, quotas, female quotas, all that kind of shit. That all started with that prick. And for that, I think he stands condemned, to be perfectly honest. That's my personal opinion. I'm not speaking for soldiers or veterans. That's my personal opinion. I don't have any respect for that man whatsoever. Like, I do respect his service, his prior, but yeah, 96 onwards, no.
Dinner a few times when he was at the officers' mess at Duntrue, and I did some casual stuff there when a mate was fucking anyway. That was why his name popped up, because obviously he came through and we crossed. I never met the bloke, but we crossed in paths where I fed him dinner a few times and whatever, which happens when you're a chef. You feed all these people and never see them. But, but yeah, like, you bring up a very, very good point. Quotas, really? Fucking quotas. This is going longer than our usual 25, but hey, we're doing a celebration for the end of $2,500 for charity, because we're fucking doers. I'm so proud of us, mate. I'm so proud of us.
I'm proud of our team, proud of you, and proud of our boys.
Mate, well and truly. And girls, we had a girl on the team.
That's what I'm saying. No, I meant our sons. I should have said sons. I'm proud of our team, proud of you, and proud of our sons, our boys that actually did it with.
Yeah. Yes, our sons very much so.
And my lovely little lady, she did about 6K all up as well.
You said that, and let me tell you, how old is she?
6.
Okay, and a year? That's brilliant for a 6-year-old.
Yeah, she just turned 6 last month, so she was actually still 5 when she started off. So,
mate, it's phenomenal. And you know what? These are the sort of things that. And look, this is just two blokes chatting online publicly for whoever to see. Because fuck. I hope people do think about what we've done and what your daughter's done and what our sons have done. Think to themselves, fuck, well, maybe I can do a little bit.
Yeah.
My kid climbed Australia's tallest mountain. Not to for him, it wasn't so much proving a point. He didn't realise what it was. I mean, he sort of did, but he sort of didn't. That's an education. And your daughter walked 6 kilometres at the age of 6. And I guarantee, if I said to her, "Why did you walk 6 kilometres?" she'd say, "Oh, for the soldiers."
Yeah.
She wouldn't quite understand it, but she's doing 4, and that's what life's actually about. It's not about taking. Everybody wants to fucking take, and that's the easiest thing in the world.
True charity.
Genuine. Get off your ass, do something, put in. And people give me a hard time with the libertarian thing. Well, if we don't tax everybody and take all your money to fucking redistribute, how will it go around? Well, I'll get off my ass and I'll go and fucking do it. Who will mow the park?
Look, man, and I know you're an atheist, but this is the Christian ideal. This is what, just because Easter's gone by, but this is what Christ commanded us to do. It was to, look after your neighbor, to give where possible, to be charitable to people, to others in your community. That's the Christian ideal. And what we're doing is, I know you're not a Christian, but what we've done with this is the Christian ideal. This is how it's supposed to be. It's not taking by force. It's giving because, not because you have to, not because you're ordered to. It's giving because it's the right thing to do.
Mate, I've had people. Now, I'm not a Christian, and I've had quite a few really good friends try and convert me. I'm friends with Father Chris Yates.
Yeah, you said that. Yeah.
I'm friends with a Ricardo Bosi, who, when Ricardo and I do talk, we talk not as regularly as we used to, but like we talk. He's a great bloke, and well, I know you don't believe, but one day it will, and look, you know what? That's all fine. Your 10 Commandments make a pretty good rule book for how to fucking live, really. As libertarians, you don't need to get beyond that. Don't steal what's not yours. Don't kill somebody who's not you. And, the fucking rules are pretty basic. We've overcomplicated society to the point that there's this great big shit show going on, and we're arguing about all sorts of nonsense. And your 10, Jordan Peterson's 12 rules for life. You've got the Bible's 10 rules for life. You've got anything more than 10 to 15, and you're overcomplicating fucking everything, right? My rules are very simple. I'm not going to do anything to you that I don't want you to do back.
Do no harm, take no shit, if memory serves.
That's exactly what it is. I don't want to interfere with you. People go, well, how can you get involved in politics? You're getting active. And the reason I'm involved in politics is because if I don't fucking pick a fight with these dickheads, they're going to take an active interest in me and start telling me what to do. Oh, hang on, they already do. That's my only interest in it.
Was it Plato or Aristotle that said those that I'm paraphrasing here, but those that fail to take an interest in politics end up ruled by their inferiors. It was either Plato or Aristotle, I'm pretty sure. I'd have to double check.
And I'll say, and I've never been shy about saying, look around the political spectrum in Australia, look around it worldwide, and if you think for one fucking minute that there's anybody, you pick somebody in Australian Parliament right now and tell me how they're going to be better at ruling your life than you are. Now, I'm not saying that, as an example, Mark Latham may be far better in a financial manager's fucking position or whatever in your life. He might do that better than you do. He might, or Pauline Hanson might do better fucking X in your life. Even some lunatic like Sarah Hanson-Young, who I have very little time for, right? Because she's just a professional victim.
Good old two dads.
But if you
bloody fucking fat bitch, yeah.
I wouldn't go that far. I would never. I don't attack people's personal appearance, but
sorry, I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just
Hey, free speech. Say what you like. I wouldn't go down that path with her because she does enough stupid shit that I can attack her from that perspective. And I look at her though, and I think even in the areas she's very good, I still wouldn't trust her to run my life better than I run mine. Now, and in the same vein, I wouldn't expect her to look at me and go, fucking Dean, he's brilliant at this. How about I just entrust all this portion of my lifespan to you? No, that's stupid. Why? We're strong, independent humans. And a big part of what I believe and why I believe it is because I think I'm not trying to strengthen society from society down. I think to build society up, we need to create strong individuals. Now, that's where a lot of people get confused. People think if we build a strong government and they're fucking it'll go down. That's that trickle-down economic shit that doesn't seem to really serve anybody because we're all fucking broke. If I can create 1 million strong individuals, if I just create 10 really strong individuals who are self-reliant financially, emotionally, sexually, fucking whatever, if I can help encourage that, create that, if I can make Ryder strong enough where he's not looking for government handouts and he's not looking for fucking, somebody to hold his hand, he just goes, oh, climbed Australia's tallest mountain, what's next? Oh, yeah, life's challenging. Cool, let's do it. If we can create people from the individual up, that's probably my big difference between the political movements is the right want to build, well, we need the government, we're going to build a strong army, we're going to have this, and that. And the left are, the government needs to give us everything. And I go, make your individuals strong, A strong individual will look for a strong wife, or a strong wife will look for a strong man, and you build a family from that perspective. And then you
not right on my eyes. I've got an insect buzzing around. Sorry.
Who is she?
Fucking, I don't know what the fuck. This like little waspy looking thing just keeps coming and crashing in my head. Sorry, man. Yeah, keep going.
No. But I mean, that's my key thing.
Yeah, look, I know where you're coming. I know where you're coming from.
If I find help, I will ask charity, not government. Does that make sense? I would rather ask people I respect.
I agree. No. We agree on that. When it comes to you're actually the only sensible libertarian that I've actually had a conversation with face to face here. So, what I would posit is this: that it's individual, but there's also a collective. There is a collective, there's also an individual. And the two have to meet in the middle. And historically, like rugged individualism is not a Western phenomenon. And it hasn't really worked so far because the collectivists defeat the individual every single time. And there needs to be a meeting in the middle. And this is what I think reading John Locke, I think this is what he was actually after. Now, I'm not a fan of classic liberalism. I think that's actually the vector via which the hard left ended up taking. They always end up taking over. But I think that what he was envisioning was he was trying to come up with the perfect melding between the two. So, yeah, you've got the collective, you've got a nation or a tribe or whatever the case may be, but there is also the individual, and there has to be individual autonomy as well. The individual, to some part, needs to sacrifice a little bit of their liberty for the greater good. However, the vast majority of that needs to be intact. And I think that's what he was after.
I argue very healthy. There's a certain amount of my liberty I'd probably give up if I didn't think it was so fucking totalitarian. I'd probably, well, this is probably, look, fuck, reasonable, I'll accept that. My concern is we've got a society built on very, very weak individuals.
Yes. Gammas and fucking females and
Mate, oh, look, fuck, I don't know fucking all the terminology, right? I've been called every name known to man, and I sit there and think, I don't know what that means. So, yeah, fuck, call me, I don't give a fuck. But
I wasn't calling you any of that, by the way.
no,
but to back up what you're saying just quickly before you go on, mate, I'll give you an example. So do you know who William Morris Hughes was?
No.
Billy Hughes?
Yeah.
All right, so Billy Hughes was our main wartime Prime Minister in World War I.
He was our Prime Minister, yes?
Yeah, he was a Labor Prime Minister. He was very, very hard left, almost a Marxist, you could say.
William Morris Hughes on it? Billy Hughes. Yes, right. Billy Hughes, the Prime Minister. Yeah, right.
The point is, though, that, and this is Australian, and this is what I miss about Australia when I read historically into Australia. So he had majority in both houses of Parliament, and the states were largely Labor as well. He could have passed the Conscription Act, no worries at all, because he had the majority in both houses. He knew in 1916 and again in 1917 when he tried again doing the typical lefty thing and, they didn't vote the way that we wanted to first time, so we'll just put it the second time. He knew that if he actually forced his majority through and legislated it without a referendum, that he would be facing open fucking rebellion in Australia.
As he should fucking
that's the Australia that I miss. He knew he couldn't push it through. He wanted to, but he fucking knew he couldn't.
That's also the Australia that's so fucking rare. It's not funny, mate. Like, I sit here, it makes me sad, right? My father he was in the bike world in the 70s and 80s, kind of before I was born. So 60s, 70s, probably fucking to be more accurate, right? They didn't have guns then. It was, but he was involved. It was a bit wild. There's stories. He was mentioned in the movie Stone. I've never watched it. Fuck.
I haven't watched it, but I've heard of, yeah.
Apparently he's in it. Fuck, I don't know. Anyway, it's nonsense. But, so I grew up with this little bit of a hard-ass advantage, right, where Dad used to just, and he was never a fucking bikie in my world. Don't ever get it twisted. He was never a biker or anything like that. He had a bike. There was bikes around. None of that sort of fucking business. But what there was an education of respect and manners and Cornish. Nathan Jones, that little Nate who's the biggest bloke I've ever seen. Is that you, Jonesy's little brother? My man, I haven't seen you since a long time. I hope you're well, bro. That's great to see you on here, man. I hope you're doing really
well. I don't know who he is. I just, Pissy, you're right. And Nathan Jones, yeah, I think you're right, mate. That's going to have to come after collapse of balkanisation, which is coming very, very shortly, in the opinion of this Black Duck. Sorry, Dan.
If it's the Nathan Jones that I think it is, me and his brother were me and his brother were like fucking brothers for many years. Went through a lot of shit together. He's actually in the services now, and he was one of the guys that motivated me to do this. Nathan's had a wild fucking ride as a bloke, and I fucking love him to bits. I loved him fucking. Then last time I saw him, though, he was fucking too well. I saw him back here at home, and he was like this kind of like tall, you know, like he was as tall as my little bloke. And he used to get a bit of shit at school and whatever. And last time I ran into him, he's like 2 heads taller than me. He's built like a brick shit house, and fucking he picked me up, threw me around like a rag doll. It was fucking good to see you, mate. Good to see you. It's me, brother. Thank you. Fuck. I'm so happy to see you, man. Fuck, I'm really hoping you're doing well, bro.
Yeah, for my part, I was a runt myself, Nathan, and yeah, mate. Like when you actually grow up and you can hit back, just salute, man. I salute you.
Fucking A grade bloke, A grade. You know, I didn't have as much to do with Shane, but Nathan and Greg, fucking A grade. Me and Greg were like family for years. We went through hell together. Came back and Nate was always there. He's the younger brother, you know. That was fucking really cool. Fucking awesome to see you, bro. Get on to more of this.
I can see it in your face, man. I can hear it in your voice. It's really good.
Yeah, man. That's actually really cool. It's a little bit emotional for me. I seen Nate on there. He's great. But yeah, awesome. Look, mate, fuck. I look at these things and I go, we've got a society built and everyone's going fucking soft. You know, they're going fucking soft. And this is the collective mindset that's driving us to this soft collective. That's why I always look at strengthening the individual. You know, I look at ways. I want Ryder to be strong, independent, in his own right, regardless of whether fucking the government's good, bad, or indifferent. I want that young man to be strong and powerful and capable of handling his own shit. I'm going to teach him survival skills, and I'm going to teach him financial skills, stuff that nobody ever taught me, you know, because mum and dad didn't know anything.
I'm teaching my boy the same thing.
You know, and this is what this is all about. You know, like if we can empower individuals, we get a stronger society. Now, people, and that's what I was saying before. You know, if we're starting from the top on down. You know, if we're looking for ScoMo to fucking empower us, we're all fucking mad, right? I look at it and I go, but if I can empower Ryder and anybody watching this goes, fucking, right, Dino is what he is, but this skill, or this, and we're going to solve our own problems. We're going to support our own people. We're going to do our own thing. I've got far more faith in your ability to teach your kids to be good, solid fucking citizens in a collective, within a collective, because the collective gets stronger your kids are, then they're going to get, if you fucking send your kids off to boarding school and ScoMo's teaching them how to fucking be a window licker. Do you know what I mean? Is that an outrageous thought?
Yeah, no. I know exactly where you're coming from, mate. And look, I get it. And that's what I'm saying. We do agree on, like you said, you know, there's probably about 20% we don't, and like 80% we do. And that's one thing we do agree on. I fully understand what you're saying, and I'm definitely far more on the side of social enforcement than legal enforcement. That's definitely I think we've degenerated to the point where I'm just waiting for this fucking collapse, man, so we can balkanize and then we can reinstitute, you know, the old social fucking order. Then, like people always get angry when I say that. I'm like, yeah, Australia's collapsing, the US is collapsing. We're going to collapse and balkanize just like the USSR, just like Czechoslovakia, just like fucking every time the Rome collapsed, it went back to city-states. The Greek Confederation collapsed, went back to city-states. Babylon collapsed, it went into little fucking... It always happens every single fucking time, ancient or modern. People always get angry at that. No, we can keep the Federation together. It's like, no, because we're filled to the gills with fucking subversives, both collective and fucking, you know, and it's just, no, it's fucking collapsing, and I can't fucking wait because we balkanize and we all get our little slices of the pie where we can choose for who we want in our community, how we want to rock and run it, and all these socially enforced. For my part, like the way that I think, and many where I live think, it's the reinforcement of these old social structures that were social, not legal, not governmental. Government stayed the fuck out of it for the most part, and just reinstitute what actually fucking works. And it's basically family, it's nation, and it is a moral code that everyone essentially shares. And that's basically, it's not draconian, it's not fucking witch hunts and fucking being burnt and fucking all that kind of shit and being racked. There's nothing like that.
If you don't like our society, choose to move on, or you can fuck off 100 miles up the road and live your own life.
It gives people a place to go. People can come in and leave depending on whether they like it or not. That's the beauty of it.
As they fucking should. Bring back the biff, mate. Oh, look, Nate, you know me, mate. I fucking never shied away from much, and Greg used to get out, and you grew up to be pretty strong. Jesus. You're the last bloke I could tell you who fucking threw me around like a rag doll was bloody you, and you were cuddling me at your brother's wedding. Mate, I look at what you're saying, and I think it's got to be socially enforced, not fucking governmentally enforced, because politicians are fucking self-serving. They will always be self-serving. Well, if there's a wage or there's carrots, there's too many carrots. I look at all the arguments that have come forward before us, and there's ways to enforce it, right? The left would enforce it with guns, and they would enforce it with fucking, but they'd only give the guns to themselves, of course. Show me one left who loves the idea of socialism. Every single one of them thinks they'll be in a leadership position. Well, no, it'll be all right for me. I'll be a governor. Listen, you're a fucking idiot. You'll be fucking a janitor with a gun to your head saying, do as you fucking told, you spastic. Stop thinking these people are going to arse lick you. You're not that special.
Yep.
I don't think I'm special. Now, the Conservatives have a different role, or the right wing, depending on how you look at it. As far as I'm concerned, both terms are just about dead. There's totalitarians versus authoritarians. That's where we're heading. But in the current zone, you've got these Conservatives who, to be fair, haven't conserved a fucking thing from what I've seen in the last 20 years.
If you read Baxter, you'll find out why.
Well,
he's the supposed father of conservatism, just like you got Rand. She's the supposed mother of libertarianism. And if you read Baxter, you'll understand why.
It's embarrassing.
Conservatism is simply libertarianism with a little bit more ability to block the left, but not much.
Here's a question. Now, you would have watched the election in WA recently.
I didn't follow it closely, but yeah, I saw a bit that you posted. Yeah.
All you got to see is the fucking headlines. The Labor Party whitewashed the Liberal Party. Like fucking blew them to the weeds. And the head of the Liberal Party conceded 3 weeks out. Well, Gladys Berejiklian has already conceded the Upper Hunter. Hasn't even fucking been announced formally yet, I don't think. And she's conceded. The Liberal Party, the Conservative Party of Australia.
They're not conservative. That's the thing. They're not. They never have been.
Fucking, they've got no spine whatsoever. They're the most gutless bunch of pricks. And people have said to me that, in theory, my Liberal Democrat Libertarian view should align far more with those guys than with the Labor Party, which it does, to be fair, on paper. But in reality, I'm a fucking realist. I'm not sitting here analysing this shit on paper. You guys are fucking spineless. Yep. 3 weeks out from an election, you're going, oh, fuck, we're going to lose. Fucking fuck off. You guys are pussies.
Yep.
Now, I fucking done elections, right? No, I never had any hope in hell of winning. And I fucking knew full well I didn't have a hope in hell of winning. I do it because No, it's not about that. It's about I'm there to pick a fucking fight, right? I don't care if I've got what's the old saying? An army led by a fucking an army of sheep led by a lion is far more effective than an army of lions led by a sheep. I'll fucking fight to the death for this shit. I'm not fucking bending over and taking up the backside. And you look at these Liberal Party fucking pathetic, and they're pathetic. There are some humans in the LNP I like. just for the record. There's a couple. I'm not going to name them. They know who they are. If
2
they
or
don't
3 that I like, and the rest of them.
know who they are, they ain't paying attention. There's a couple, right? It's a very fucking small number. But let me fucking tell you, when I run for an election, I don't expect to get elected. I don't expect anybody to fucking ass kiss me. I don't expect, I don't even expect 2% of the vote. I'd like to get 20% or 100% of the vote, right? But I also, what I do hope to do is convert one or two people in this country who go, you know what, this guy's fucking balls and all in. Now, you may disagree with me on 20% of my philosophy, but would you rather disagree with me than with 20% of my philosophy and go, but he will 100% stand by it? Or do you want to support some fuckwit who's going to, you're going to agree with fucking 60% of his philosophy on paper? He's not going to back up any of it with anything other than bullshit and blowing wind up people's asses. But you back him because you agree with that fucking 20%.
Hey, look. This is what I was saying. This is what I've said before. Like, yeah, I'll go for the fucking real deal. I'll go for the people that, you know, you're definitely all in that mold. Like, this is why. Like, most soldiers are apolitical.
Yeah.
Like, when soldiers are forced to vote, which we are, like you'll be on deployment or whatever, because you're on the books. Well, because you're on the books, you can't get away with not voting. They have to fucking vote as a soldier. Yep. Now, they'll vote Liberal because Liberal treat the military a lot better.
Yep.
Like, under Labor, you've got no fucking bullets. In civilian terms, bullets, we call them rounds. You've got no fucking rounds. You've got no ammo. You've got no equipment. You've got no fucking nothing. Whereas Liberal tend to look after it better. So when guys are forced to vote, they will vote Liberal.
Yeah.
But you ask the average soldier, they're apolitical.
How do we get every soldier to vote Liberal Democrat and fucking work out that I'll be the best Prime Minister fucking ever? I'll swear a lot and I'll fucking pick fights with cunts and it'll be all right and it'll be game on. But you'll get what you need to do. And guess what? You won't even have to fight in stupid wars that you don't want to go to. You'll only have to defend Australia from cockheads trying to come in here and take our shit. Because I'll solve all that. No problem at all. No, sorry, John, I'm not selling you our steel because you've been a bunch of dickheads. So, no steel for you. Come get it, bring your guns, because our military's looked after and they're happy. They're going to fuck you up. Game on. You know, I mean, that's tongue in cheek, but you know what I mean.
I know what you're saying. Yeah, the only point I was trying to make though is, yeah, soldiers generally speaking are apolitical because our senior brass are all politicians in uniform anyway. They're fucking desk jockeys that haven't done any groundwork in fucking years and in decades often, and that's all they are, politicians in uniform. The senior brass and politicians are the biggest enemy of the soldier. The soldier fucking despises both. So that's just that, trying to convince a soldier that you do have a political party or a politician that's actually for them. I know a lot do have a respect for Ricardo Bosi.
As they should. Ricardo's a great bloke.
And I'm one of them. But that's a fucking rarity. It's most soldiers and veterans just...
Look, Ricardo and I, and I'm sure we mentioned it at the Edmonero by-election, mate, I put him number one as my fucking, or number two technically on the thing, but he was number one on my list. So
yep.
Other than myself, he was number one. And he's probably the same on his because I think we're men have cut from a very similar cloth. We've had different experiences and different lives, but fuck, I respect the shit out of the bloke. And, and I'd like to see our military personnel protected better and supported better. He's obviously far more hands-on in understanding that. But, mate, you guys, they take the piss out of you blokes, in my eyes, right? Our government is a piss take at the best of times, but relative to men that they send off to serve, it's a fucking piss take. And it makes me so cranky. And yes, I do run for Parliament and I do get my hands dirty in that particular area. And people
say, because of the system we live in.
Well, that system is, at the end of the day, it's a system of people, by people, for people. Now, that system can be changed at any given time with the correct people in the correct places, doing the correct things. Now, it depends what you want out of life. And this is where everybody gets confused with the libertarian movement, where I'm not trying to get voted in. And they go, well, if you're not voted in, why would we bother? Because I'm here to fucking sell you on the fact that we can do better.
You're here for results, not espousing abstract utopian fantasies and calling them reality, which is what I respect about you.
Jess, I'd love a utopian fucking libertarian dream, but I'm not an idiot, right?
So would I. If anarcho-capitalism was actually, I would. Fucking oath I would.
Of course.
Who fucking wouldn't?
How do where do we bridge the gap between going, righto, fucking Dino's a bit mad, but in Parliament, he'd be holding these fuckers to account daily. He'd be breaking their balls, and I wouldn't be able to. As one of me, I can't actually change anything. Can't do it. Now, there's a bullshit that fucking most politicians won't say out loud. One of me in New South Wales Parliament has this much capability of change in that forum. But it doesn't mean I can't build an army of supporters and go, guess what, gentlemen? While ever I'm in here, this is how it's going to be. Can we find any more supporters, and can we pick a fucking fight? Now, if we can find enough, let's do it. That's where we're at, brother. Now, let's get back. We've had a fucking cracker of a discussion. We've been going for nearly fucking an hour and a half.
I'm fucking enjoying it. I've enjoyed this, mate. Thank you very much.
Mate, you and I have never done one of these online this long. We've had a pretty formal discussion relative to what we've been doing, brother. Mate, I fucking thank you so much for joining Team Resolute for our walk. Our 96 kilometres, our Kokoda replica, our fucking Soldier On charity. Thank you so much, mate.
Thank you for putting it together. Thank you so much for being our team leader. I'm very thankful for the other lads and Ledette that jumped on. And yeah, look, thank you, man. I'm much appreciated. This wouldn't have happened without you.
Jesse, much appreciated. Let's do a big wind up, right? I know I'm a bit. I've done this a few times. Let's do a big wind up. So, Resolute TV on YouTube, Facebook, fucking everywhere, right? That's my brand. That's my shit. Arlene Angerfist-Blenko. She is our MMA superstar that we all support. We all need to get behind Arlene. Reach out to her. Tell her that you fucking love her from Resolute. Tell her that that's where it comes from. She'd love a message. It helps her sort of, one, realise that her being involved in this project helps. And also, you know, I do sponsor her and support her and whatever. So reach out to Arlene Angerfist-Blenko. She's an MMA fucking superstar, former world boxing champion. She's a badass bitch, and we fucking love her. So let's get behind her. Let's get behind Resolute TV on all the fucking usual platforms. I'm really bad at doing that bit. Some people do it like ad nauseum. Like, subscribe, share, fucking all that sort of nonsense. Jesse Bell. This man here in front of me, he's building his own channel. What's it called, Jess?
Eureka 1901. We're on Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey. It's Eureka for the Eureka and 1901.
I'll be subscribing as soon as I get off. Send me the link. Put it fucking wherever you like, brother. Hey,
thank you very much. I didn't want to plug myself, man. I'm not here for that.
Neither am I, but we've got to do it. Otherwise, everybody's busy watching fucking Scott Morrison tell bullshit, right? Dia Beltran, you're a cheeky bitch. But we love you. I know you're doing a lot of stuff on my Resolute TV channel, but we're family, so you can use that anytime you like. But there's also the www.diabeltran stuff. If you find Dia Beltran anywhere, check her out. She's fucking great. There's a few other people that we need to do shout-outs for.
There's one I'd like to plug, if that's all right.
Yeah, go for it.
So it's Noah Ravoy at www.pathwaytoagency.com. He actually has had a lot of success helping guys with PTSD. So again, it's Noah Ravoy at www.pathwaytoagency.com, all in lowercase.
Noah and I have never done a live stream, but Noah and I have spoken a couple of times when he's been talking to Dia. Noah is fucking a top bloke. Look, there's so many people that are affiliated with me. You know, I'm a Liberal Democrat member. You know, I support blokes like Ricardo Bosi, even separate from the Liberal Democrats. But guys, and tomorrow night in Wagga, we've got our first Liberal Democrat branch meeting with Tim Quilty's coming down. He's an MLC from Victoria. He's not quite as hardcore as Jesse and I in life. Fucking top bloke, though. Very consistent in his behaviours. And come down and meet him. Come down and see him. If you like our philosophy, join up. Join the party. And this isn't a party plug officially, but, you know, I believe in the work we're doing, and I'm far enough in their mixture where I can at least try and keep them all honest. So if you're looking for a political party to support that's at least honest, the Liberal Democrats are, but they're libertarians, so there's bullshit everywhere and nonsense and fucking carry on. No, fuck, it is what it is. Now,
I like your fucking style, man.
If you look at the charities to support outside of Resolute TV, and fuck, I haven't asked you for any money or anything. If there's a business, Riverina Hemp and Health, if you want to buy hemp-style products, holler at me because I do have a business in that area. It's one of my little sidelines.
Send me the link, man.
Yeah, for sure, mate. I'll add you up. We'll send stuff out. It'll be all right. We do discounts. We do all sorts of shit. That is one of my little money-making projects that I fucking am involved in, and that is a commercial plug. And if you want a Resolute TV t-shirt or hat, holler at me as well. We got them fucking, I don't know, $20 each. So I think, fucking send me a message. I'll send you one. It's fine. Can you tell I'm chasing the dollar? Other than that, who else do we got to thank, Jess? Who am I forgetting, brother?
As far as I'm going to tell, mate, just all our sponsors. That's the only one that we haven't really plugged yet. Every single one of our sponsors. Yeah.
Everybody who threw some dollars into fucking our Soldier on Appeal. Our Ride for Joe will be coming again soon. They're going to be the two charities. Every year I'm just going to fucking push them. If you want to sign up for the teams, sign up for the teams. If you want to donate money, let me know. Let us know. Resolute TV, Dean McRae, Freedom Chef, all that fucking shit. Jesse Bell, Jesse's my man. All of his brands, anything you want to see. Game on. Thank you so much, guys. We've raised $2,500 for charity. We've climbed Mount Kosciuszko. We've fucking walked multiple amounts of kilometres for all of us. A 6-year-old walked 6 kilometres, for God's sakes. What a fucking legend. Everybody have an A-grade fucking evening. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you.